Welcome to Oakland Is. We have a really exciting show today. I'm Amaranth Moticure, and I'm here with my guest, Paradise, the infamous, all those things. Paradise, I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having
Yes,
me.
it's my pleasure, my pleasure.
Yes. Can I show you something? You know, out of the 60s came what I call the three-part Soul Brother handshake that you see everybody doing all over the world, right? But what people don't know is that each part has a meaning.
Okay.
For example, when you first clasp hands like that, that means love. The second part means peace, and the third part means unity.
Ooh.
So let's get that message
back
back out. Love.
Love,
Peace.
unity.
Yes.
Ooh.
And that's why I'm doing the Cultural World's Fair, to get knowledge out to the community that is not there. For example, everybody should have 25 superfoods to carry with you through life. And one of them should be cayenne pepper. That's an incredible herb. If you're having a heart attack, or you know if somebody's having a heart attack, give them a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and room temperature water, and 30 seconds it's gone. You know. And another thing that people don't know about here in the Western world, a woman trying to give birth horizontally on her back is half as bad as a woman trying to give birth standing on her head. Because the best way is the old, ancient, indigenous way of squatting and letting Mother Nature and gravity help you, before we got into this kind of like backward Western way. So that's what a Cultural World's Fair is for. A regular World's Fair is about moving items and things and building buildings and rides. A Cultural World's Fair is meant to move people and to build community and culture. So
we need it so badly. I can't even get people to say hello, greeting as we pass on the street. You know, what's up with that?
Well, these are pretty scary times, and there's a lot of scary people out there, and we need people to be brave and say, I am here right now in this moment. My heart, the God within me, God's within me, is greeting you. Namaste. Habari Gani.
Yes.
Whatever. And just be bravely ourselves.
Okay, all right. So now, there's so many things that you want to share with us. Where would you like to start? Just so I can.
Buy Black Wednesday.
Okay.
Is a campaign that I'm on.
Buy Black Wednesdays.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't have to be a poor trillion-dollar nation. But when we got integrated, which is something that had to happen, that we had to go through, and Americanized, we forgot who we were. So while other cultures keep their dollars within their communities for days at a time, ours is gone after the first 15 minutes. So it's about self-love, you know. Of course, buy black every day if possible, but let's get started with this one little campaign. Let's try it on Wednesdays and build around that. Come back to our culture. Come back to each other. Love one another, because we need each other, and if we're not getting help from other communities, we have to help ourselves. You know, so
that is a big. That's big. It's huge, you know, and it seems to be still so complex to make it actually happen. You know what I mean? It's like our consciousness level sometimes just can't seem to make the bar to even, as I say, just even to greet each other, hug your children. I mean, just showing that kind of love on different levels. We've got to get back to that, definitely.
Yes, inch by inch, ounce by ounce, anything is a cinch, and it just takes practice and getting to know one another once again. So.
Yeah. So I've got. So shall we put this up?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
If
So
it's-
let's start here.
Okay.
You can tell us something about what this pyramid is about.
Well, I like to tell people that the internet is a great source with worldwide connections, but the ancestor net is universal and without limitation. And that map, which is of the Berkeley, Oakland area in between downtown Berkeley and downtown Oakland, if you had a bird's eye view, you would see that University goes this way, Telegraph this way, and San Pablo that way, and it's shaped like a pyramid, like a triangle. So I call that area Little Nubia, or the Nubian Triangle, or Frisia Love Land, and it's a very powerful energy vortex. A lot of great, wonderful people stay in that area. A lot of great black businesses and community-friendly businesses like La Peña Cultural Center, Marcus Books, which is the granddaddy of black bookstores in this country, the Air Lounge, Joyce Gordon Gallery,
The 57th Street Gallery.
57th Street Gallery, and a lot of wonderful people stay in that area. So, and what's also interesting about it is that it's also shaped like an arrow that points towards Oakland. I am here to preach the gospel of Oakland, which is a magical, wonderful place, in spite of what you might get in the media, consisting of magical and wonderful people. Mary Rudge, the poet laureate of Alameda, she had a book called Oakland is a Holy City. When I first saw that book, I was like, what? Oakland? A holy city? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, she's here, I'm here, you're here, the spirit of the Ohlone Indians is here. Oakland has this great diversity, 80 ethnicities speaking over 150 languages. The free speech movement came out of this area. The first Kwanzaa was celebrated in Berkeley. Just all these beautiful, wonderful things. And I believe that if you live in the greater Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, it is the spiritual metropolis of planet Earth.
Oh.
It has the best climate spiritually, politically, socially, economically, technologically, agriculturally, culturally, and environmentally, in the sense that in the South, sometimes it gets too hot. In the North and the East, sometimes it gets too cold. But we never have any unbearable winters or intolerable summers.
No.
So we have this great opportunity to work at Oakland 24/7.
Yes.
365.
That's right. You don't have to not go outside. You're not ever stuck in because of weather and snow and all of that. I can remember, I guess it's been about 10 years ago now, I was at Dunsmuir, and my friend and I, Iolode, we had a booth, and before that day was over, there was a guy walking around there saying, "They love everything about you, but you." And I didn't realize that it was a poem at the time. I just kind of almost thought he was just kind of saying something, but then I started to realize the rhythm of it, and I started to listen more, and that was you. I bought your last copy of the poem.
Yeah, I remember that.
I have carried it around for probably 10 years. I got to read it at our Oakland is 20th anniversary. Is how I started to get in touch with you, because the guy you were working with was there. I'm
Bill
like,
Jackson.
yeah. So are you going to give us some of that and some of that?
Sure. 1995 was
Okay.
like a very auspicious year for me and very crucial because that year we were at this meeting at the First Unitarian Church in Oakland discussing how we can make things better in the community. And one of the things I suggested, and it later became an actual newspaper, is that we create a newspaper for the homeless that they could sell and make money, but it would also be a poetry newspaper, you know, me being a poet, that poets could write in, publish in, and get exposure, and that came to be Street Spirit.
All right.
That same year, I started what was called the Afro-Metropolitan Poetry Series, when poetry at that time was still a bad word and associated with roses are red and violets are blue. But that poetry series, one of the interesting things about it, because at that time things were still acoustic and a cappella if you went to a poetry reading. But I saw this commercial where this guy had this microphone, and I said, wow, okay, that's what I'll do. So what was different about this poetry reading was that it had a microphone and a karaoke machine. So everybody could be a star, have their voices amplified, like Billie Holiday. And if you sang, you could have your music put in the tape deck, because tape decks were still in vogue in those days. And you could put your beats in there and rap. So interspersed between the poetry was singers and rappers and dancers. And at that time, 1995, hip-hop was in its golden era. So the Afro-Metropolitan Poetry Series became more than a poetry series. It became a happening. And it is partially responsible for the poetry boom that's going on now. And what I like to call, because I wanted to start that in 1995, was the California Poetry Gold Rush.
Ooh.
Yeah. So anyway, back to your question. The song is called I Love Everything About You, But You. Okay? And it started out as a love song because I thought my soon-to-be ex-girlfriend at the time was telling me, I love everything about you, but you. But then it came to me, no, wait a minute, this is bigger than us. And I just started writing, and it became like this hip-hop, spoken word, poetry, folk song, black anthem, protest song. I mean, like, and people compare it to Billie Holiday's Strange Fruit and Marvin Gaye's What's Going On and Gil Scott's The Revolution Will Not Be Televised, Public Enemy's Fight the Power. But black people say that it validates them. And so some of the lyrics are the chorus. You know the chorus, right? So how does the chorus go? Let's sing it. I love everything about you, but you. Say what? I love everything about you, but you. I love everything about you, but you. I love everything about you, but you. Say what? They want the black spirit. They want the black mind. They want the black soul. They want the black behind. They want the black muscle. They want the black heart. They want the black music. They want the black art. They want the black rhythm. They want the black hips. They want the black power. They want the black lips. They want the black style. They want the black talk. They want the black skills. They want the black walk. They want the black ride. They want the black heat. They want the black coffee. They want the black meat. They They want the black land. They want the black gold. They want the black diamonds. They want the black coal. They want the black oil. They want the black race. They want the black earth. They want the black space. They want the black dollars. They want the black gods. They want the black everything but me and you. They want the black neighborhoods but not the black neighbor. What are they trying to say? Oh, I get it. I love everything about you but you. So.
Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. Let's just keep it going. I love it. So, it looks like...
That's my CD called Jazz Funky Puppetry, because the kind of art that I do contains all those elements: jazz, funk, hip-hop, and poetry. And it also includes a version of I Love Everything About You But You is on there. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of it because this one particular radio station called it the most important release of the year. So the website, if you like to hear that particular CD and other music of mine, and poetry and spoken word, is www.trueviberecords.com. www.trueviberecords.com. And True Vibe Records is the name of the local record company, which I love because it's, for the most part, profanity-free and multi-generational. Mm-hmm. The whole family can, just like back in the Motown days, mm-hmm. can listen to the whole album. And the whole company and the Urban Collective, I believe it's called, all of it, the whole family can listen to and enjoy, as well as being enriched culturally. Mm-hmm. So, mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds wonderful. I remember meetings and stuff that you were doing, you know, with your group of people, like at the library and stuff.
You remember that, yeah.
Of course. And down at the Black Repertory Theater, how's that going?
The organization that you're talking about is the International Black Writers and Artists, mm-hmm. and I'm the president of Local 5 mm-hmm. in Oakland. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of things in the 80s, it kind of like fizzled out. But now it's building back up again. But I wanted to talk about Sacramento for a second.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's a great place to retreat, to get away from, you know, the urban areas and things like that. And I love it. I love it. The people are great. The weather's great. But it's pretty much black and white, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And the epiphany that I got from that mm-hmm. is that diversity requires work. You have to work at it. Okay. You have to work and work at it. It doesn't come pre-packaged. Mm-hmm. It's a process. New York has a similar kind of diversity like we do here in Oakland. Mm-hmm. But it's mainly segregated. Ours is more interactive, mm-hmm. and we need to make it even more interactive because Oakland is like a microcosm of the world, and the world is a macrocosm of Oakland. I like to say that Oakland is like Zion mm-hmm. in the Matrix movie, mm-hmm. the last real city on earth. Oakland is the last bastion of democracy. So we have something really powerful and wonderful here that we should embrace, because if you stay in the greater Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area, you have your hand on the steering wheel of the world. Sacramento, New York, I went to school at Xavier University in New Orleans on a basketball scholarship, so I got to travel around the country a lot. And I went to Memphis. We had a game in Memphis, and I was like, man, Memphis is like 40 years behind at that particular time, right? Mm-hmm. So when I got eventually on the plane to come back to Cali, I was like, I'm going back to the future. So This is the future, whether you like it or not.
Right.
This is the future where where America goes, the world goes. Where California goes, America goes. Where Oakland goes, all that goes.
Huh.
So if you stay in the greater Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area at this point in time, your job, there's nothing more important than your job in the world and the work that you were sent here to do. So I would like to tell that to all the citizens.
Good.
And Oakland only has 4,000 people. So that's all we need to convert, 4,000 people, to get them on the same page.
What do you mean we only have 4,000 people?
Oakland, excuse me, 400,000, pardon me.
Okay.
Oakland only,
I'm like, oh,
the
yeah.
crime hasn't been that bad.
No.
Oakland only has
Honduras.
400,000 people. So that's a pretty small number compared to New York. And we just need to get a critical mass, 100,000 more or less, of those on the same page. And let's make this what Mayor Downs was talking about, a model city. And that's what my Cultural World's Fair is about.
Where is that? Where is it going to be? Where is that? It's going to happen. Is it on internet or what?
Yes, you can go to www.2012worldfair.wordpress.com.
Okay.
And
Now, was that the Ja Love? What was the Ja Love thing that we were doing earlier on the radio show? Was that the radio show?
Free Ja Love?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just talking about Little Nubia, one of the names that I gave that area.
Oh, okay. All right. So we go to the internet for the Cultural
World's Fair.
Fair.
Yes.
Okay. So that's pretty easy for those of us that are online. But there's still a lot of us that are not online.
Right.
You know, and that is something that I'm concerned about. I mean, I'm from New Orleans, and my dad had 6 daughters that are all down there, and nobody has a computer. Not one of them. Not one of them. No one has one. So, and in our communities, you know, people are just, you know, they come and bring me. I get all kind of little jobs to do stuff on the computer for people. You know, I mean, if it's unemployment or this and that. I mean, you know, people just don't. They're not hooked up. A lot of them, you know. So, and then the cost is a lot. You know, sometimes. So. But we have a lot of people that are on because, you know, everybody's, you know, YouTubing and this and this and that. So we're going to deal with those that are. And we're going to keep on working on getting more of us on, you know, and all of that. I'm ready to send the CD to New Orleans and let my sisters and stuff just kind of start getting into more things and becoming more aware. Are you going to tell me something about your book?
Oh, I'm very excited and proud of my book because I came to a stage in my life where I said, wow, I've done a lot of work and I have all this material in closets and under my bed and in drawers. Let me put it together in a single package that I can share with people. I also do poetry and creative writing workshops. I'm mentioning that because I say that the title should be like the eyes of your poem. So, for example, I have a poem in there called Moonwalking While Black. I love everything about you but you, which I just gave you a verse of. An environmental piece called You Should Be Concerned That It Takes a Team of Scientists to Make Your French Fries. Beloved.
Now, is that at McDonald's or is that at home? Those French fries.
Wherever wherever the scientists need to get together and make your French fries, you know, be aware. But it's about the environment and the times overall.
Okay. And we can get this. Where can we get this book?
You can also go through the website. You can get it at Tease Me Boutique.
Tease Me?
Boutique.
Tease Me Boutique.
Which is 1701 University. Can I give addresses?
Sure.
which is going to be where the opening reception of the World's Fair is going to be. You can get it at Jape Posh Design Studio, 3824 Telegraph Avenue. You can get it at Shashamani's Ethiopian Restaurant, 2507 Broadway.
Yes, Broadway.
Or, you know, you can go online and get my information. And
if you want it, you have
yeah.
tons of places to. Oh, I'll give you his phone number. You can call him.
And if you don't have a computer, because mine just recently died, and so I've been going to the library, and the library is free, and you can get on the computer there because, as it was said in the movie Social Network, we used to live on farms and then cities. Now we live on the internet, and so that, to a large degree, that's true. So, but as I said, the internet is a great modern day tool with worldwide connections, but the ancestor net is universal and without limitation. So don't forget to practice your spirituality and say your prayers and your affirmations and take your vitamins. I always say that.
Keep some cayenne around.
Some cayenne.
And also, there's another thing you can do with cayenne. If you were, if your feet are cold, you can put some in your socks.
Yes.
Because that heat
and it's
from
good
it will
for,
just heat your feet up.
And it's good for blood pressure.
Blood pressure, definitely.
And also another type of thing that you will learn at a cultural World's Fair is that the shape and color of the food usually indicates what it's good for. So, for example, cayenne pepper, red beets, watermelon, good for the heart and the blood. Walnuts, what are walnuts shaped like?
Ovaries.
Ovaries?
Is it ovaries?
Well, yes. Kidney beans are shaped like kidneys. They're good for the kidneys. But walnuts are shaped like the left and right side of the brain, just like cauliflower. That's amazing, isn't it? That the color and shape of your food.
Yeah. Well, listen, it has been really, really good to see you and to hear from you and for you to share all this wonderful information with my audience. I know they're going to. Yes, it has. It truly has. Love and peace and unity. I want to get that pop in there, you know.